What if the difference between financial stress and financial stability isn't how much you earn, but how quickly you can protect yourself when life goes wrong? In 2026, financial emergencies don't wait for you to be ready. A sudden medical bill, job delay, car breakdown, rent increase, or unexpected family expense can instantly disrupt your entire financial system. And yet, most people still treat emergency savings like a distant goal instead of what it truly is: a financial firewall between stability and crisis. The problem is not intention, it is structure. Most people try to build emergency funds using leftover money, inconsistent discipline, and unrealistic expectations like saving whatever is left at the end of the month. That approach rarely works because it depends on willpower, and willpower is inconsistent. The solution is to stop thinking of emergency savings as one large, overwhelming number, and start treating it as a system built through small, automated, and strategically designed steps. In today's video, I'll break down the top 5 ways to build emergency savings step by step. Methods designed for real life in 2026, where automation, psychology, and consistency matter far more than raw discipline. Let's dive in. 1. The safety net starter goal $500 sprint. One of the biggest mistakes people make when building emergency savings is aiming too high too early. They hear advice like, you need 3 to 6 months of expenses saved, and immediately feel overwhelmed. The goal feels so large that they never actually begin. The smarter approach is to shrink the goal until it becomes psychologically easy to start. Instead of thinking in thousands, you begin with a simple target: $500. This amount may seem small, but it is incredibly powerful. It covers most minor emergencies such as small medical expenses, urgent repairs, transportation issues, or temporary cash shortages. More importantly, it represents your first layer of financial protection. The real purpose of this step is not just money, it is momentum. Once you achieve this first milestone, something important shifts mentally. You stop seeing saving as a distant or unrealistic goal and start seeing it as something you can actually do. That psychological shift is often more valuable than the money itself. It builds confidence, and confidence is what turns saving from a one-time effort into a long-term habit. Another important aspect of starting small is that it reduces resistance. Large goals often create internal excuses like, I'll start next month, or I need to earn more first. But a $500 target feels achievable, even with small actions. It forces you into action rather than hesitation. And action is where real financial behavior begins to change. This approach also helps you build consistency without pressure. Instead of relying on strict discipline, you rely on repeatable progress. Every small contribution, whether it is $10, $20, or money from selling and used items, adds to your sense of progress. That progress becomes motivating in itself. Over time, this initial $500 fund becomes a foundation for larger goals. Once it is completed, increasing it to $1,000 or $2,000 feels much easier because you already have proof that you can save successfully. In this way, small wins compound into long-term financial stability, and what started as a simple sprint eventually becomes a sustainable financial system. 2. Activate lapsed expense redirects. One of the most overlooked sources of savings is money that was already part of your budget, but is no longer needed. These are called lapsed expenses. Think about subscriptions you've canceled, loans you finished paying, memberships you no longer use, or services you've reduced. Most people make a critical mistake here. Once that money becomes free again, it silently disappears back into daily spending. This strategy prevents that leak. Every time an expense disappears from your budget, you immediately redirect that exact amount into your emergency savings. The timing is what makes this powerful. You don't wait until the end of the month. You act the moment the expense ends. For example, if you cancel a $15 subscription, that $15 automatically gets transferred into savings. If a $40 installment ends, that amount is redirected instantly. Because this money was already mentally spent, you don't feel any loss or lifestyle change. Your brain does not register as sacrifice, which makes this method almost frictionless. Over time, these small redirected amounts quietly build a strong financial foundation. Even a few canceled subscriptions or completed payments can add up to a meaningful monthly savings flow. This is one of the easiest strategies because it does not require new discipline. It simply prevents money from disappearing into unconscious spending habits. 3. Deploy an AI Roundup multiplier. Traditional Roundup savings tools are helpful, but in 2026, they are no longer powerful enough on their own. Saving a few cents per transaction is too slow to build meaningful emergency protection. That's why modern financial tools now use multiplier-based roundups. Here's how it works. Every time you spend money, your purchase is rounded up to the nearest dollar. But instead of saving just the difference, the system multiplies it. For example, if you spend $4.60, it rounds to $5. The 40 cents difference is then multiplied 2x or 3x depending on your settings, meaning you save 80 cents or $1.20 instead. Individually, this feels small, but across dozens or hundreds of transactions, it compounds quickly. The key psychological advantage here is that you don't feel the savings happening. The amounts are small enough to stay unnoticed, but consistent enough to accumulate steadily. This system works because it turns everyday spending behavior into automatic saving behavior without requiring any conscious effort. Over time, your emergency fund grows in the background while your lifestyle remains unchanged. 4. Secure a high-yield isolation account. One of the biggest risks to emergency savings is not earning too little. It is accessing it too easily. If your emergency fund sits in the same account as your daily spending money, it will eventually be used for non-emergencies. This is not a discipline issue. It is a design issue. That is why isolation is essential. The strategy is to open a high-yield savings account, HYSA, that is completely separate from your main banking account. But the important part is intentional friction. You should not make it easy to access. Avoid linking it to your main banking app or using it for daily transactions. The goal is to introduce just enough delay that you think before withdrawing. Why does this matter? Because emergencies are rare, but impulses are frequent. If money is instantly accessible, it stops being emergency-only money and becomes backup spending money. That'd be why isolating it. You create a mental and technical barrier between you and the funds. At the same time, your money grows through interest, typically around 4 to 5% annually in many high-yield accounts. So your emergency fund is not just protected, it is slowly expanding in value. This transforms your savings from a passive account into a protected financial asset. 5. The Windfall 50-50 Rule. Unexpected money is one of the most powerful opportunities to build emergency savings, but also one of the easiest to waste. Tax refunds, bonuses, freelance payments, gifts, or side income often trigger emotional spending instead of strategic financial planning. The 50-50 rule solves this imbalance in a simple and sustainable way. Whenever you receive unexpected money, you split it evenly. 50% goes toward enjoyment or personal spending, and 50% goes directly into your emergency savings. This structure creates balance. You do not feel deprived because you still get to enjoy part of the money. At the same time, you are consistently strengthening your financial safety net. Most strict saving rules fail because they are too restrictive. People eventually break them. The 50-50 system avoids that completely by allowing controlled enjoyment. Over time, this becomes a powerful accelerator for your emergency fund. Even a few windfalls per year can significantly speed up your progress toward financial stability. More importantly, it removes emotional conflict. You do not feel guilty spending money because you have already secured your future self in the same decision. And there you have it. 5 step-by-step ways to build emergency savings in 2026 without stress, overwhelm, or unrealistic financial pressure. By starting with a small $500 sprint, redirecting lapsed expenses, using AI-powered roundup multipliers, isolating savings in a high-yield account, and applying the 50-50 windfall rule, you create a system that builds financial protection automatically over time. The most important insight is this: emergency savings is not built through one big sacrifice. It is built through small systems that quietly run in the background of your financial life. And once those systems are in place, financial stability stops being something you chase and becomes something you naturally maintain. If you found this helpful, start with just one method today. That single step is often enough to change the direction of your entire financial future. Thanks for reading, and I'll see you in the next one.